Hey there, Jason. Today I'm going to show you how to do some false cuts. These are not required for any tricks. They are simply used to further the realism in your trick, to trick your spectator into thinking that you have shuffled the cards. Now, in this video, we're going to be using the High Victorian deck from Theory 11, which has one of the nicest playing card boxes I've ever seen on it. We're just going to be very careful with these. Let's go ahead and unbox them. And we're going to set this box off to the side up here. Now for false cuts, what you're doing is giving the illusion that you're changing the order of the deck without actually doing so. Now there are a few different types of false shuffling, and we're going to start out with the easiest of the easy, and that's just doing a simple shuffle while maintaining a few cards you need for a specific trick on the top of the deck. So for example, if you want to do a trick with the 4 aces, you can do a regular bridge or riffle shuffle. You just have to make sure that more than 4 cards stay on top. So you're technically shuffling all these cards in the middle, but you're keeping the cards you want to use in order. So that's one false shuffle. Now the first real false shuffle, or we should call them false cuts. We're going to be doing false cuts now. Now the first false cut, this is the one you're probably going to use the most, is very simple. It looks like this. As you can see, the top card is still the ace of diamonds, bottom card is still the 5 of diamonds, and the order stays the same. All you're doing is taking one half here, tapping the piles together, and then dropping them right back into the order that they were. The reason this works is because you're using speed and verbal misdirection to make them think that you're cutting the cards. If you have a slightly observant spectator, they might catch this, but I personally have not been called out on it. So just for the really quick, what you'd be doing is saying, okay, we're just going to go ahead and cut the cards here. So you're looking at your spectator, you're like, okay, we're just going to go ahead and give the cards a quick cut here, and just like that. It's that easy. Now to do this cut, what you're going to do is hold the cards in what's called biddle grip. I already bent a card. Look at me. You're going to be holding the cards in biddle grip, which is pointer in middle and thumb on the back, just like this. And you're going to use your pointer to lift up a little pack here, and you're just going to come over and grab it with your other hand. Then you're going to tap them together, drop the pile that's in your right hand, and then drop your other pile on top of it. And it's that simple. And you're just doing that really quick while saying, all right, we're just going to give the cards a quick cut here. And it really does look like you're shuffling the cards, even though the order is staying the same. So now we're going to move on to the next false cut. And this one does require a bit more dexterity. So what you're going to be doing is holding the cards in the exact same way for this trick, or for this cut. And I'll just go ahead and demonstrate it. You've seen me do it a million times. It looks like that. And it's still a false cut. As you can see, there's the aces, there's the 5 of diamonds. What you're doing is cutting about a third of the cards and moving them over to your hand. Then you're going to cut another third, and you're going to move your hand. You're just going to sort of lift up these cards and move your hand over the pile in this hand. You're then going to use your ring and your thumb. Your ring and your thumb to grab this pile right here, this pile. So as you're moving this pile over this pile, you're switching them. So right now I have grabbed with my ring and my thumb the pile in this hand. Grab. Now that I've grabbed, I can let go and grab the pile in the middle and swap it out. You can now see that I'm holding this pile in my ring and thumb. Now to move it to the top, I'm just going to go ahead and also grab the pile sitting above it and then just drop it back on top. And there you go. The aces are returned back to the top. The 5 of diamonds is still on the bottom. It helps if you remember that first pile you take off has to end up back on top. Right now it's on the bottom, now it's in the middle, now it's on top. And all you have to remember is that you can take this slowly. After you grab that first pile over, you're just lifting and then using your free finger here, the free ring and the thumb, to simply grab. And then grab the pile in the middle, grab the pile above it, drop it back on top. And it's that simple. All you got to do is practice it a bunch and you'll get there. And the cards will stay in the same order. Now the next one we're going to do is the most advanced one that I know. And I by no means know any crazy advanced cuts, but this is the most advanced false cut that I know. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate it real quick. I like to call it the false swivel cut. That's what it looks like. Just like that. Now to do this cut, you're going to first need to know the Charlier cut, which is a one-handed cut, where you cut the cards with one hand. Now, the best way for me to explain this is to hold the cards with all four of your fingers on one side and your thumb on the other. You're then going to use your thumb to just kind of drop half the cards, but hopefully not have them drop off there. That's because I was holding my hand at a fancy little angle. We'll go ahead and grab those cards again here. Just hold your hand kind of in front of you. Drop half the cards. You're then going to come underneath with your pointer here. You're going to you're going to put your pointer, let me flip these cards over. You're going to put your pointer down underneath them. So you were holding, now you're down here. And you're going to use that pointer to push those cards up till they're touching your thumb. Then you're going to have to trust yourself a bit here. You're going to sort of loosen up with your fingers back here to let the cards slide further away till they clear. And then you can use your thumb to push that pile on top and use your fingers to close those cards back in. And that's just a regular cut, Charlier cut. You drop with your thumb, use your pointer here, go down underneath like this, push the cards up until they clear your thumb here. You're going to have to loosen up a bit with these fingers right here. It's going to clear. I'm dropping them a lot. I'm trying to hold them up at the camera here for you to see, and they keep falling off. But let me do that again. Drop that half, take that pointer, curl it under, push those cards up. Use your thumb to sort of push them and move these fingers back so those cards can clear and drop down. And once they've dropped down, you can pull those cards back together. Let me see if I can get a bit of a better angle for this, because I can take my phone out of here because this is a one-handed cut, so I can get all the fancy angles I want from here. Isn't that right, Lola? Isn't that right? Anyway, what you're doing here, you got the cut, right? You're holding them. Boom, you drop it, take that pointer. The pointer is going to push those cards up. And you can see that they now, when I loosen up with my three fingers back here, that just sort of lets them drop down, as you can see. And now I'm using my fingers to pull these together and using my thumb to push them on top. If it helps, you can hold them in straddle grip, where you have your pointer and your pinky, and then your ring and middle on the back and your thumb. That'll help you control that drop. Then you can take that pointer, bring it under, and pull it like that. And you can use your pinky as a little stabilizer, just so the cards don't go flopping all over the place. It may not look as pretty, but this was probably the best way for you to start. I should have showed you this way first. Drop, pointer, push them up till they clear, close them together. So that's the Charlier cut. Sorry for my rambling and ranting here. We'll go ahead and get back to the cut, the false cut. So let's take a look at what cards we had ended up on top. So Queen of Diamonds is on top. Queen of Clubs is on the bottom. That's nice. 2 queens. I'm going to go ahead and do the false cut here and show you again. Now what's cool is that once you do the Charlier cut with the whole deck, This false cut will actually be a little bit easier because there's less cards to Charlier cut. Now we got the Queen of Diamonds on top and the Ace of Clubs on the bottom. So we'll remember that for reference here. Let's do the cut. Boom. All right. So now let's get into how it's done here. So remember, you're swivel cutting a third over, but when you lift this swivel, this first swivel, you're going to come around from the front with this hand and pinch with your thumb and your pointer. So we'll go back here. We're lifting. Ideally, you're going to have your hands flat. You're lifting, coming over. You're going to use that pointer to sort of push that pile out to the side. Pinch, and then you're going to move your hand around like this. Because what you're going to do next is pull up another bit here. This one doesn't have to be another third, just a few cards. And you're going to use your pointer. You're going to sort of transfer these cards to your thumb, middle, and ring. And you're going to use your pointer to grab this pile. Now once you grab this, only your two pointer fingers are going to be holding it for just a split second as you come over and set it down halfway jogged out from the top pile. So boom, it's sticking out here. Then you drop the other half in line with this pile. Now you can see that we have a nice cut here, and we need to remember that we need this bottom pile to end up back on top. So now that you have the cards like this, you're going to be back to holding them, thumb on the side, all the other four fingers on this side. You're going to come over with this hand, use your middle finger to pull that pile out and sort of grab it. Now that you have this pile in this hand, you're going to hold this break here. So now you do the Charlier cut, but you just drop that bottom pile. If I can get that last card there. Charlier cut. And before you close the Charlier cut, you're going to put these cards in there and then continue the cut. And as you can see, the top card is still the queen. The bottom card is still the ace. So we'll do it again here. So we're doing our first swivel cut. Come around, pinch with the pointer and thumb. Move your hand around. Get that pointer freed up. Grab with your middle ring and thumb. And get that pointer ready to grab this back pile. Move it over. And this looks like it might be difficult, but it's actually really natural. It'll just end up being halfway stuck out here. Take this other pile, set it right on top there. Use your middle to grab, and then you can use your other fingers to support. Really what you're doing here is just grabbing it out. And you can just grab it out if you want. Then Charlier cut, and I'm having trouble letting that last card go. Come on, there we go. Charlier cut. And before you close it, put those cards in there and close the cut. Queen on top, ace on bottom. That's the simplest way to do this. If you want to do the fancy part at the end, where once we get to here, I sort of let them flip over into the close. It looks smoother, but there's a few extra little things you have to do. So we'll go ahead, get our grab, pinch, get the second half. Now we're transferring with the pointers up to here. Put the other half on top, swivel out, and what you're going to do here, we can even just set these cards out of the way, is you're just going to practice going from holding them in between your pointer, middle, and thumb to just sort of letting them fall back. And when I do it slowly, it doesn't work too well. But just sort of letting them fall back or dropping all of them. That works too. Here, I'll grab all these and get them a little bit more organized. So when you're at this part, you're sort of holding them with your ring middle pointer at the bottom, and you're able to sort of let them go, and you can just sort of set them down. Right now, the only fingers holding them are my pointer and the back of my thumb. And from there, you can sort of set them down into that, let them flip over and close it. And it actually works a lot better when you're going at speed, so there's less time for the cards to be all flippity-floppity. And that looks like this. Letting them flip over and dropping them into that fold there. Swivel over, pull them out, let them drop, and drop them in. So we'll go over it one more time in the simple way, just as a little recap here. So we get that first swivel, pinch with the pointer and thumb, get our pointer ready, we transfer that grip. So we grab here, and once we pinch with the pointer and thumb, we're coming and contacting with our other fingers too, so we can free up that pointer to grab that middle packet, set it down, set the other pile down on top of it, swivel that pile out, drop it to break, push those cards up, drop these cards on top, pull those cards up, and there's going to be different cards on top now. 8 of diamonds and 9 of diamonds. How nice. Nice and in order. So if we do that cut, the 9 or 8 of diamonds still on top, 9 still on bottom. So this was a pretty lengthy video, but I really hope it helped you out here. These are not required, but I just wanted you to know how to do some of them. Hope it helped you out, Jason.